Hey everyone, an exciting show for you today. We are bringing back Emil from Rootstock. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. This weekly show is very important for me because it's really an evolution of the One Rental at a Time channel. What I saw is once I got to about 10,000 subscribers, I had the ability to get influence. And one of the things was great to see in Roofstock is you've appreciated our relationship. I've been on your show many times and we agreed to a giveaway or a referral or whatever you want to call that. So if people are watching this channel and watching these interviews with you where we talk about markets and they want to go look at Roofstock and sign up, use the link below. It's a special referral created just for One Rental at a Time. And if you end up doing a transaction, they're going to get $1,000. That's the agreement, right, Emil?
Yep. So $1,000 when they close on a property.
Yep, $1,000 when they close. So again, folks, that's one of the things I'm trying to do. We have 3 of these relationships and I'm looking to grow more. So if you have advice or others, let's talk. I would love to use the weight of One Rental at a Time and almost 14,000 subscribers now. So thank you. So Emil, Fridays, 9:30, we talk about markets. What Roofstock market are we talking about today?
Yeah. So last time I think we covered Birmingham. This week we're talking Indianapolis, which is a market I've invested in personally.
Oh, awesome. So I'm going to love to hear this. I have heard about Indianapolis as a hot market for at least 4 years, certainly since I've been retired. It's either Indianapolis or Nashville is the one I've been hearing about repeatedly. So it's going to be fun to talk about what makes Indianapolis special.
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably Nashville, I feel like, has had like a scorching pace and it's probably had more people talking about it. But Indianapolis, I bought a property in 2017.
Okay.
It's been great. It's appreciated nicely. That was on, the last episode we talked about
getting lucky, as I recall.
Exactly. That was the Indy property. So
gotcha.
This is where I got lucky. All right. So Indianapolis. So the MSA name is Indianapolis Carmel Anderson. The greater MSA population, 2.1 million.
Oh, wow. Now that's very different than what we talked about last week. Wasn't it only like 600 grand or something?
Yeah. I think Birmingham was
sub a million. Yeah. Sub a million. So now we're talking 2.1. All right. You got my attention. Okay.
Yeah. Much larger MSA. It ranks number 33 in the United States.
Oh.
The city population. So if you're just looking at Indianapolis city, 876,000, which is the number 17 largest city in America.
Wow. I don't know that I would have guessed that. Okay.
I didn't know that either until I looked it up. So this stuff's fun for me because I get to like learn a lot of stuff along the way as well.
You get to play trivia with your friends. There you go.
Exactly. I get to learn about all these cities. So the MSA population growth over the last 10 years or since 2010, and this is all according to census data, has been 9.9%.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, pretty solid growth. The city of Indianapolis itself has grown 6.8%. So still solid, but the MSA has really grown.
Yeah. So when I hear that, solid. I mean, the first thing I'm thinking about in my mind is, again, if I was looking at that market, I'd be going, okay, what's going on with new construction versus existing homes? I mean, that would be something, because that's impressive growth. Round it to 10%. That's meaningful. I don't know many cities that are building for 10% growth. I mean, I can't think of any growing that fast. Now, maybe Indianapolis is different. Again, I never invested there, never looked. I'm just sharing my thoughts when I hear this data for the first time. So as an investor, as somebody who follows One Rental at a Time, going to poke around Rootstock a little bit, look at Indianapolis. That would be something I would look for on the outside is what's going on with new construction? Are they building enough for the growth? I mean, that's because if not, dude, that means appreciation, probably what you've experienced. And more importantly, for One Rental at a Time, rent growth. I mean, that's what I'm thinking about.
Right. Yep. Which I've seen both of since I started investing there in 2017.
Yep. There you go.
So I actually do have some info on single family rental permits. So according to John Burns, the 2020 single family rental permits is estimated at 7,900, which is up 11% year over year. So that's
now what's a rental permit? What is that?
Single family. I meant single family permit. So a permit to build a single family home.
It. All right.
I should remove the R.
Yeah. So so basically new single family construction is what you're saying.
Exactly.
And how big was that? 7,900?
7,900, which is 11% year-over-year growth.
Okay, wait. So let me do this math again. That doesn't make, well, I guess it's just single family. So what you're saying is, again, I'm going to use round numbers. So in a market that's growing 10% population, the population's 2.1 million. Because again, right, the larger metro is 2.1 million, correct?
Correct.
The larger growth rate, which is not the city, but the MSA was 9 point, 10%, correct?
Yep. Yep.
Now you're saying, then you said the city. Now, is that the larger MSA or just the city? Because I wanted to do apples to apples, so 7,900. That's probably
that 6.8% is just the city. Exactly.
All right, so let's go back to that. So the city was, call it 800K or 900K people? The first number.
876.
All right, so call
Almost
it 900. Call it,
Yep.
I like round numbers. So you called that 900. Then you said the city was growing how fast?
The city population, 6.8%. So we'll call it 7.
So let's call it 7. So, okay, 900 times 7 means 63,000 people. That's just easy math, right?
Correct.
Right? I mean, I'm not trying to get crazy now. And then what you just told me is they're building 8,000 homes. So the city is growing by, now that's people, right? So some of those are kids, they're not family units, all of that. So if you take 4 divided by 70, because again, 4 is in a family unit typically. So that's roughly 19,000. Okay, so there's 19,000 new family units in Indianapolis. They're building 8,000 homes. So that others are either, they're going multifamily, they're shacking up with roommates. Rents are going up, man. That's, again, I'm just doing easy math here, folks. It's nothing complicated, but that tells me there's not enough single family homes being built. Again, rough estimate. Never thought about it before this call, but that's what I see.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, that seems to be the case just in most markets across the country right now, especially, but
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Good to do the numbers on that one. Okay. So I also have the total number of units, which is housing stock.
Okay.
Is 876,000. So 876,000 in the housing stock.
Got
and
it.
32% of those are renters.
Oh, that's very different. Because I think the last market we looked at was closer to 50-50, right?
Yeah. Birmingham is like 40 something percent renters.
All right. So what was renters again? 32 or 36? I already forgot. I'm so excited.
32.
So 32% are renters. Do you have the median price somewhere in this for a house like owner?
I do. Median single family home price as of October 2020, according to Zillow, is 166,000.
Ah, so you have a relatively speaking low median. I mean, 166K mortgage, again, median. So you need about $5,000 down using a 3% FHA loan. Your payment's going to be about, God, under 700, I think.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And that means you're in. I mean, that means if you make $55,000 a year as a family, you can afford to buy a home. So that probably makes sense, right? 32% renters, 68% owners.
Yep.
Okay. I'm with you. I'm following along.
Yep. And that median household income for 2019 was 65,502.
That explains the math, right? If you're anything above 55, you can afford the house. So if the median is, again, rounding to 70, that explains the high ownership rate. Exactly. And again, as a one rental at a time fan, I see that as a good thing, not a bad thing, right? Anytime the supply is soaked up by owners, that means the remaining units have more demand and rents accelerate faster. So pretty cool, actually. Okay. All right. What else you got?
All right. So moving on to median single family rent. This is according to John Burns, $1,264.
All right. So $1,264 on a median price of 166.
Yes.
In an interest rate environment where investors can get a 3.25% loan, cash flow. I see cash flow. Okay. All right.
Yep. Year-over-year rent growth, 3.9%.
Do you also have home appreciation somewhere?
Yes. So Zillow, I looked at 12 months ago.
Yep.
So right now it's 166,000. I believe 12 months ago it was around 150. So the appreciation I got according to Zillow was 10.7% over the last 12 months.
All right. So 10% appreciation as an owner. Cool. Rent appreciation was
3.9%.
Okay. Because one of the things that I see happening, and I see this going across nationally, and again, this shouldn't be news if you watch my channel at all, is I see home prices going to be accelerating for a while in 2021, probably double digits, just like you saw in Nashville again, or Indianapolis, sorry, Indianapolis. But I think rents are going to start catching up because as the economy booms, eventually affordability will make a difference. Eventually interest rates will go up, which really will crush affordability. But that's when, as a landlord, my rents will just accelerate because the demand for single family homes is going to be something that is not going away. Space is good. Work from home is good. Millennials want to, live somewhere, not in a high rise place. So I think all of the trends point to single family rentals being awesome. So yeah, I think rents are going to accelerate across the country, especially in markets like this. So pretty cool.
All right. Other stats I pulled for you. So we have single family gross yield comes in at 9.3%. I think at 10%, it's the 1% rule. Is that right? When gross yield is 10%?
I think it's around 10%. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the average is a little shy of the 1% rule.
Yeah.
For people interested in that.
Yeah.
And
let's just get this out of the way. If you've been following my channel for any like the time, the 1% rule is cute. It made a lot of sense back when interest rates were 6.5% or 7% because the math just kind of worked. But the 1% rule in today's market can really drive you to sketchy areas. Not that it's not a good rule of thumb, not that it's a good all of that, but I would never make a decision on 1%. Anybody in my course that I talk to, it's not something we use. We want to know how much cash goes out, how much cash comes back. We calculate yield. As you know, Emil is a student of mine. I think the 1% rule gets too much press by bigger pockets. I think it actually leads to a lot of bad decisions, frankly. So anyways, but go ahead. Sorry. A little bit of a
very fair point. Totally agree with you. The home occupancy rate, last official stat I have for you before we get into some of the other good stuff. Home occupancy rate is 95.4%.
So that basically means there's not many vacant homes, is what I think.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think comparatively, when we were looking at Birmingham last week, I think it was like 93%, somewhere around 93.
Yeah.
So you got an uptick there in Indianapolis.
Makes sense.
All right. Moving on to some of the more qualitative stuff, or qualitative. I always get those two mixed up. So employment stats, I'm going to cover employment stats, some rental market stats, and then quality of life. Mm-hmm. So employment, the major employers span across real estate, finance, insurance, and healthcare, and includes Fortune 500 companies like Anthem Health Insurance, the pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly, and Simon Property Group, which is the nation's largest REIT. Mm-hmm. Indianapolis was ranked number 3 on Glassdoor's list of its top 25 cities for jobs. I think that was back in 2018 or 2019.
Wow.
And in 2019, the city added 22,900 additional jobs, which was an annual increase of 2.1%.
Yeah, what I like in all of that is it's diverse industries, right? It's not oil and shale or just insurance. It's really diverse. And that's really why I picked Fresno back in the day, was because it didn't have one single employer and it didn't have a single industry. If you were to look at Fresno for any single industry that was most dominant, it would be food. And last time I checked, food's right behind water in requirements. So I felt pretty good about that one. But yeah, it's having a mixed economy is really good. And back to the first stat, 2.1 million people in the MSA that's a strong start. So, okay, cool.
Yep. Okay. So that's the employment stats. The rental market stats that I was able to pull. So the percentage of rental properties in Indianapolis is 23% higher than the US average.
So that just means, given everything else we've talked about, has to be units. There has to be a lot of units.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Indianapolis has the 4th highest occupancy rate out of the 20 largest single family rental markets. So that 95.4%, very strong, top 4.
I would have guessed that.
Or the 4th highest.
4th highest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Forbes listed Indianapolis as one of the best markets for real estate investments back in 2019. So getting some accolades for the real estate investment community there.
Yep.
And then Indianapolis's overall real estate appreciation since 2009 has been nearly 25%, which ranks in the top 30% among US markets.
I would have guessed there would have been more, but you said since what year? Since 2009?
2009. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably, 2009 through 12 were probably down years, although down slightly. 2013 to 15, probably kind of flat. I would guess that most of that 25% appreciation happened in the last 5 years. That'd be just a guess. But that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen the same thing. When you look at a lot of these Midwest markets, they kind of had a different timeline than like California. I think
For
California
sure.
started bouncing back 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
Whereas the Midwest, it seemed like 2012, 2013.
Yeah, there was
so
a little
bit pushed back.
duration difference. Yep.
Exactly.
Cool.
Quality of life. We'll wrap up with some quality of life. So Indianapolis was named one of the 26 hottest food cities of 2016 and 2017 by Zagat. So apparently they have a very hot food scene.
Foodies. All right. Go nuts. All right.
Yeah. Indianapolis has 211 parks covering over 11,000 acres of green space. So a lot of parks.
Okay.
And their park system boasts 155 sports fields, 135 miles of trails, 125 playgrounds, 23 recreation and nature centers, 19 aquatic centers, 13 golf courses, and 4 dog parks.
Wow. Well, let's just close on the dog park, folks. Sorry, folks, if you hear my dog whining, Jimbo. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know I have this puppy. He's not feeling good. I have to hold him or else he whines really loudly. So I apologize if it's been distracting. But Emil, I love this market. Again, I think there's a lot of things to like. I think there's a lot of research. Again, if you are following one rental at a time and just want to poke around and see what kind of inventory is out there, do yourself a favor, use the link below, because that will set you up to get $1,000 if you decide to transact. You don't have to, but might as well use it, register, see what happens. And I look forward to talking about a city next week. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And we love Jimbo.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.